In this training video, I want to talk with you about the importance of getting all of your team members plugged into your training and marketing system. And this is really geared towards those people that you'll sponsor where they don't have to go through any training to go out there and start sponsoring people and producing volume and building the business, but they never get plugged into what you're doing. So I'm going to actually take you through the cycle of what happens when you have someone like that and you don't get them or their team plugged in. Because I've been through this a few times in my network marketing career, and I've seen lots of my team members go through this as well. So once you sponsor someone like this, life is generally pretty good. Volume is flowing up. You're seeing 3, 4, 10 new people added to your business every week or every month on that leg of your business, and things are great. But usually about 3 to 9 months later, you'll get a phone call, you'll get a message that basically says, help, help, help. You know, I've got people canceling, I've got people returning packages, I don't know what to do, and you know, blah, 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 and things are going good. What can you do to help me out? And at this point, it's very hard to help out because, you know, you didn't get started off on the right foot. I'm not saying you can't, but it makes it more difficult. And so oftentimes that team and that leg starts falling apart. And then you're left with that leg that you have to rebuild again. I've even had legs in my business where I've had hundreds of people join my organization with people like this, and then 12 months later, you know, there might be a handful of people still left on AutoShip or using the product. And so I've learned from that mistake. I want to make sure that you learn from my mistake. So there's really 3 options you have when you have people like this in your organization. The first option is you just, you know, ignore the fact that they're not plugging into your training system and you hope for the best. Well, I can tell you most of the time, like 99% of the time, this isn't going to work out because the cycle I talked about will happen, and then your business is kind of where it was, you know, 6 months ago or 12 months ago. And if you're like me trying to build a long-term residual income, that doesn't add to the long-term residual income. It also leaves a trail of carnage along the way where people join the business and then quit the business. Now, people joining and quitting is part of the cycle of any network marketing business, but I want to make sure I have the least amount of people join and quit. So you don't want to leave that trail of carnage. Now, occasionally, maybe less than 1% of the time, this will work out because they'll sponsor so many people down in that leg of your organization that someone down there will step up and be a leader and start building a business. But like I said, that happens very rarely, and it leaves a trail of carnage in the process. The second option is you can create a system for that person and what they're doing. So, you know, you take that person's skills and background and methods that they're doing, and you develop an entire training and marketing system around it. Now, I don't recommend doing this, but it is an option. I'm just laying out all the options to you. The only time I really think this is a viable and worthwhile option is if you're expanding into a new country or a different market where business is just done differently, or you know, they speak a different language. For example, the system I use, it's a great system, but it's all English based. So when I was building my team in Mexico, I couldn't use all the tools and all the resources I had on my website and online because A, it was in English, and B, a lot of people don't have internet access down there. So I worked with my leaders and we developed a different system. But for people who are in the United States or who speak English, I won't spend the time on developing a training and marketing system with them. Now, the third option, and this is the option I recommend, is that you provide leadership for all the people that person sponsors, and you work on getting them plugged into your training and marketing system. And yes, this will take a little bit more work from you up front, but it's worth it in the long run. Because usually what happens is the leader or that sponsor monster is going out there and sponsoring all these people. They will appreciate you doing this for them, and they'll see that people are out there having success, or their downline will start talking with them about the training courses that they're going through or the success they're having, and that person will start seeing the results and start seeing that, hey, it's worthwhile to get plugged into the system. And sometimes the other reason you want to do this is that sponsor monster will never get plugged in, which is fine. He or she may keep sponsoring people in the business, or they may quit and go do something else. Again, that's just the realities of business. But if you've been building relationships, showing leadership, and making sure that the people they sponsor get plugged into the training and marketing system, if one person leaves, it doesn't bug you because you've got 6, a dozen, 30, 40, 100 people down there that you can work with. And if you start developing people down there, you'll find the person to step up to the plate, but also build the business, what I call in the long term, right way. Well, they'll get everyone plugged in the system. They'll step up in the leadership roles and they'll build a strong business. So this is what you want to do. And I know it can be tricky as you have people like this in your organization, but I promise you, if you do that option one where you ignore it and bury your head in the sand, you will be kicking yourself in the butt months down the road. So make sure you work with the person and make sure you're getting their team members plugged in. And I want to stress that getting those people in your business who are sponsor monsters and go out there and make stuff happen, I'm not saying you don't want those people. I'm not saying those people are bad because they're not using a system. That's just the way they are. That's their personality types, and it's their network marketing business to do what they want with. All I'm saying is that if you want to build a long-term, stable organization, you need a leader in each leg of your business who was plugged into the same training and marketing system you're using and getting their team members to do the same thing.